shall now request Bulbul-e-Hind, the Nightingale of India, to address us not in prose but in poetry.
Mr. Chairman, the manner of your calling me is not constitutional, it is poetic. It reminds me of some lines of a Kashmiri poet who said, Bulbul ko gul mubarak, gul ko chaman mubarak, rangeen tabiyaton ko range sukhan mubarak.
Hyderabad, in the last quarter of the 19th century, ruled by the 6th Nizam, Mehboob Ali Khan, was a big, bustling city, 4th largest in the Indian Empire. Merchants came here from abroad to buy hides and gems, and iron to fashion the sharp blades of Damascus. The Nizam's court retained all the splendor of the stories of the Arabian Nights. Huge chandeliers hung from the ceilings, and thick silk was everywhere, on the walls, windows, and Louis XIV chairs. Here, on the 13th of February, 1879, Sarojini, the eldest of the 8 children of Dr. Aghornath Chattopadhyaya and Varada Sundari, was born. Dr. Aghornath Chattopadhyaya was a distinguished scholar and a brilliant scientist who received his doctorate from Edinburgh University in 1877. He founded the Nizam's College in Hyderabad and was its first principal. Of his father, Harendranath Chattopadhyaya, the youngest son, said,
Almost, but I think the greatest thing about him was a tenderness towards humanity, and all humanity seemed to have been rolled up in one inside him. Rabindranath Tagore once, traveling with him, he met him on the train, and he wrote in his Hungry Stones about my father. I didn't know it was about my father. I had read the Hungry Stones earlier. Said, do you know the man in the train whom I've mentioned as being most important for the dispenser of all things? I said, no, I certainly don't. He said, that is your father. Oh, God, I said, what a wonderful description of father.
Varada Sundari was a poetess and a singer.
And she used to sing like a bird. It was a cross between a bird and a flute, that voice of hers. And whenever she sang, tears rolled down her cheeks. And I said, Mother, why are you crying? I'm not crying, dear. I'm not crying. I'm singing. Yes, that is the way song should be sung.
Aghornath taught his eldest daughter to be widely interested in many things. In 1891, in her 12th year, Sarojini passed her matriculation examination, coming first in the Madras presidency. She showed early promise as a poet.
Well, at a very early age, she wrote poetry. Well, she wrote verse, really, to start with, but it was a kind of a raw effort. But the rawness was full of the promise of a ripeness. Now, I'd like to give you an example of what she wrote when she was 14 years old. My birthday, oh, this day, I am 14. Childhood's years and golden wings have fled. Right many a grateful blessing have I seen. Purest joys on me their luster shed, as flew those years over my happy head. My joys were not what joys to childhood see. Not on unthinking sports my soul was fed, but nursed it was on many a brighter theme, lofty high ideas formed my radiant dream. Now you see how distinctly full of promise this poem is.
Sarojini was 16 when she sailed for England in 1895 to study first at King's College London and later at Girton College, Cambridge. Her professors noticed that she was not the usual type of student. A voracious reader, she spent much of her time observing and admiring nature. It was during this time that she met her future publisher, William Heinemann, and the two literary critics, Edmund Goss and Arthur Symonds. Symonds considered her an infant prodigy. Sarojini was a frequent visitor to the Goss family. When she gave him some of her poems to read, the great literary critic was impressed by her mastery of the English language, but equally dismayed to find in her work traces of Tennyson and Shelley. He beseeched Sarojini not to write of English robins and skylarks, but to be a genuine Indian poet of the Deccan. Towards the end of her stay in England, her health broke down. But she was determined to conquer the sorrow of life with the sorrow of song. Sarojini returned to India in September 1898 and married Dr. Govindarajulu Naidu in December the same year. A unique event which laid the foundations of intercaste, interprovincial marriages. The Golden Threshold was the home of the newlyweds. It became the hub of much of Hyderabad's intellectual life. Hyderabad. Sarojini adored it for its delicate blend of Hindu-Islamic culture. Its graceful living, its cosmopolitan milieu. The young poet was already dreaming of a secular India. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. From mosque and minar the muezzins are calling. Pour forth your praises, O chosen of Islam. Swiftly the shadows of sunset are falling. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ave Maria, Ave Maria. Devoutly the priests at the altars are singing. O ye who worship the Son of the Virgin, kneel soft at your prayers, for the vespers are ringing. Ave Maria, Ave Maria. Ahura Mazda, Ahura Mazda. How the sonorous Avesta is flowing. Ye who to flame and the light make obeisance, bend low where the quenchless blue torches are glowing. Ahura Mazda, Ahura Mazda. Narayan, Narayan, hark to the ageless divine invocation. Lift up your hands, O ye children of Brahma. Lift up your voices in rapt adoration. Narayan, Narayan. The publication of The Golden Threshold in 1905 by William Heinemann in England created quite a stir, and the book was soon sold out. This was followed by 2 more volumes, both equally well acclaimed. Rabindranath Tagore wrote to Sarojini, "Your poems in The Broken Wing seem to be made of tears and fire, like clouds of a July evening, glowing with the muffled passion of sunset." From the romantic lyricism of her early years, Sarojini Naidu had moved into a period of passionate involvement with the freedom struggle, and the man most responsible for it was Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Behold, I rise to meet the destined spring, and scale the stars upon my broken wing.